Try it, yeah.
Chicken and waffles.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back after a couple week absence. We're back with our Wednesday campaign Cult Busters here on Roll Propelled Gamers. 3 weeks ago now, we all brought Dietrich back. And then had some introspection and conversations in and around town, figuring a way off of the island. A ship coming in possibly the next couple of days was one option. Or, I believe that was it. And a couple of you had some pretty interesting conversations. But it was morning where we left off, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes, I was going to find Fair to tell them about my dream.
Yeah.
It felt like a dream, but I'm not sure it was actually a dream.
Yes, that is exactly where we left off. If you all would like to continue from that point.
Nymeria wants to go downstairs, and she's gonna tell everybody she's gonna go grab, some arrows because she needs arrows. But when she gets down, she's gonna talk to the bartender real quick and just be like, "Hey, what all deities y'all got in town here, like temples or whatnot?"
Not much in the way of temples, unfortunately. Trade and the sea.
I guess the sea? Neither of those are really what I was hoping for.
I mean, we are a sea town and relied on trade. We don't really have much else in the way, unfortunately.
All right, where's the temple for the sea?
There's a altar area down near. Actually, it might have been destroyed, but it's down near the docks.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Of course.
And I guess she'll make her way down to the docks.
Okay. Easy enough to do.
Did anybody else want to go, or am I continuing?
I don't know if we were continuing or if we were doing like, while she's doing that, what are the rest of you doing?
Yeah, I
Oh, okay.
I mean, I wasn't
I
going to
don't-
say that unless you guys wanted to.
No, Dietrich will come down in the morning and look around and see if Fair is there.
Fair comes down after Dietrich, not too much late, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and they're wearing like their dark veil from the brim of their hat that they wear usually when it's sunny outside, even though it's indoors.
I've got some news.
Oh. In your sleep?
Indeed. It seems that our devil friend has chosen to speak with me in my sleep. I'm still working through the implications of that on my life generally, but he elaborated a bit on the deal he wants me to make.
All right.
Essentially, he doesn't need Lucius anymore, but we have to find him an alternative vessel. But I asked him what exactly his plan is. If he gets this vessel, what's he going to do with our world? And hoping that there was room to negotiate and room to, hey, like maybe just chill out there in the nine hells and I can kill some people and send you all the souls you need. That kind of thing. He, let's just say that's not what he's after. If he gets a vessel, he's coming here and he's coming back and he's coming to essentially conquer us all, make us his slaves and farm everyone in the world for their souls. Because I think he said Odoron, like the ancient country that used to be in the middle of the ocean. Odoron?
Hmm.
What actually he told me what actually happened to it, and I of course have no idea if he's telling the truth. I wasn't there, but it wasn't destroyed. It was banished because when he came back the last time, Odoron was overrun with his devilish, hellish minions. And so the entire country, the whole landmass was just banished to some other plane. And for over 1,000 years on this other plane, these immortal devils have just been chilling, waiting for their master to figure out how to undo the magic. So if he comes back, he's bringing Odoron back, and with it come the entire assembled armies of hell. And then they take over, they start enslaving everyone, using us for our souls, and using the souls to wage their war against the demons of the abyss. I'm not sure. That it doesn't sound like what I signed up for.
That is quite a lot. So did you make him any promises? Anything
No,
concrete?
I told him I'd think about it.
Eventually we will have to decide though.
Yeah.
I will say getting entangled with the gods that closely is certainly dangerous. I knew a young fool once who tried to curry favor with a goddess and offered her a sacrifice that she couldn't ignore. And he certainly caught her attention, and she asked more and more of him until finally she crossed a line and he refused. And he was tortured by her minions and marked for death. Not that she cared to do it herself, but she left him with something that would encourage her followers, if they could catch him, to tear him to pieces for her. And I would say, Asmodeus has lied to us before, so I am not inclined to trust him any
I was
further.
just thinking about if this is his initial entreaty to us, if this is his initial request, help me return to power so I can enslave the entirety of the world, bring my minions back from their demiplane, and win this war that I've been striving toward for my entire existence. That's request number one. What the hell do you imagine request number two is going to be? Because there will be another one if we help him with this.
Exactly. I would prefer not to imagine.
Same. I don't think I can possibly say yes to this. On the other hand, he's so powerful that if he manages to come back anyway, if he manages to come back anyway and we refused him, we're dead.
How do we know he wouldn't kill us anyway, even if you do accept his offer? You're
But
another soul to him, if a slightly more cooperative one.
yeah, the more I'm learning about this, the less I like it. I think I've got to tell him no, but hopefully I can delay that moment until perhaps we have some more powerful allies.
And more information about him.
And perhaps another god. Someone whose ethos is one we can actually get behind, who wants to oppose him.
Entangle ourselves with another god. Well, I hope we find a good one.
Anyway, I should get down to the docks and see about a ship coming in.
I badly need a glass of water.
Wouldn't recommend seawater. But,
Don't plan on it.
I think Dietrich will just head out and go down to see about a boat.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go downstairs and sit down quietly in the corner, thinking about all the death and the craziness that I've seen in the last couple of days in silence.
How much time would have passed between Nymeria leaving and Dietrich leaving?
Probably about 15 minutes.
She's gonna go straight down to the docks then.
Okay.
She's gonna look around and try to find somebody who looks priestly, clericy.
Make a perception
There's
check.
so many jokes I could make right now, and not one of them is appropriate.
I start being appropriate now. Come on.
I don't know.
Pick one and run with it.
No.
No.
With advantage, that's an 11.
Okay. There are like two. You don't really notice anybody priesty or clericy, but there are kind of two outdoor shrines, somewhat untouched by the devastation on the docks yesterday.
Is
If
there
that makes
anybody
sense.
tending to them?
Not currently, but there are. Give me 1 second. But there would be. Actually, I'm gonna roll. See. Probably on this morning at this time. Probably like one or two. Not necessarily sailor types, people that in the village that are at the little tiny altars. It's not really like a church. It's kind of like a shrine and then like a bench in front of it. Like it's really small. Like it's for people like on their way out of town, if that makes sense.
That's not what she was looking for. She needs like a temple or something.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess she's just gonna get the hell out of there then and go buy her fucking arrows.
Okay.
So Dietrich will head toward the docks where we were told this other ship was coming in or about to leave. I'm not sure if those are the same docks.
No, because these were the docks that were touched yesterday. On the map, you have like the three, and then you have like the second three, and the lower three were the docks that weren't touched, where the boat would be coming into.
Okay, so Nymeria went to 2 and I went to 3,
Essentially,
more or less.
north. She went to north of 2. You went to south of 2, in terms of the docks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I head down there and see if I can locate this ship that we've heard about.
Yeah. Make a perception check for me.
$22.
It's a fairly clear day and a fair weather day. Clear, good wind, high visibility. Standing down on the docks, you can see it coming up like along the southern coast of Kururi, and it'll probably be in port within the hour.
All right. Like how long would it take me to get back to where we're staying from here?
About 10 minutes.
All right, yeah, I'll head back and just let everyone know the ship should be here in about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And we can head out and ask then.
All right. Does anybody have anything they want to do while he is out on that excursion?
I would like to still see if I can find somewhat of a decent quarterstaff or something.
Okay. How much is a stack of arrows again? I have no idea what basic things cost anymore in this game.
Literally what I just Googled. Because I was just
It's
going to tell you,
it's
hey, I buy X amount of.
That's 1 gold a stack, right?
I didn't get that far yet, but sure, it's whatever.
Give me a second. I want to see something. Yeah, it's 1 gold for 20. So however much you want to buy.
Buy 60.
Okay. Easy enough to actually get from the outfitters here. That outfits ships before they leave. And you are looking for just like a basic quarterstaff?
One that I can afford. Like the ones that the crazy guy had were too expensive.
Damn. I mean, it's not hard to find a regular basic, like plain old wooden quarterstaff at the outfitters. Which I believe is 2 GP is. I think it's like 2 silver.
Anything worth that's better than that?
No, your options are what he has or the basic stuff that the outfitters for like the different ships that come in and out have
Mm.
here.
I think I want something a bit better than basic.
Okay. Okay. After you buy arrows on the way back and Farzu's little excursion, you guys would come back in time to hear the news about Dietrich saying that the ship should be coming in shortly.
Yeah, now all we have to do is find out where they're going and hope they're amenable to taking 7 passengers plus 3 exotic pets.
3.
4.
Or
I wasn't counting Nibbles because you can just make Nibbles go away and come back again at your leisure. Isn't that right?
Why would I want to do that?
Well,
It's more entertaining this way.
if the sailors are willing to take 3 pets but not 4,
Yeah.
anyway. But yes, passage for all of us and our growing menagerie. Shall we? Or would you prefer I go alone?
I'll go with you.
I'll go.
Could all introduce ourselves. I could use the fresh air either way, so I'll come.
I suppose I'll come too.
I guess we're just all going. I guess everybody's going.
It's a field trip.
Yay!
Magic school bus.
God, I saw a meme today, and it was, I don't remember his name. It was the redheaded kid
Yes.
Arnold.
with the glasses. Arnold. I'm like, it starts with an A, but it's not
Yeah.
Alvin. And he looks like he's just like on the brink of death, and she's just like, "Get on the bus." It was funny. I don't know.
Arnold really
No,
was
that-
a party
that-
pooper. Arnold really was a
that-
party pooper on that show.
That poor kid, though. He was just not having a good time.
He's like, "Not another field trip," and she's just like, "Get on the bus."
True though.
Like, Shinji, get in the robot.
I want to see the mashup of the Magic School Bus and Mean Girls, where Ms. Frizzle just drives up, opens up the bus door, and yells, "Get in, loser! We're going shopping."
I would pay money to see that movie.
I would love
Like
that movie.
real money. I would pay real money to see that. Anywho.
Yeah, we head down to the where I
Yeah, you guys wait it out and
Saw
get
the
down
chick.
there. Time it so they're maybe unloading or loading stuff on.
I look around for someone who looks like they're in charge. I'm kind of dreading this because you did ask me a pointed question above game. I was like, oh, fuck.
Make as you guys are walking down, make a perception check, Dietrich.
24.
And make a history check.
12.
You recognize the flag on the ship from your time in Roguewater. But it is not your former captain's. It is
Okay.
just a tattered, plain gray flag.
And whose flag is this?
That would be Captain Velkis's, and the ship would be the Destiny's Flame.
I forget. Who was I talking to about Valkis back in Roguewater? Someone here had asked me something. But what I said at the time, I remember, was I never had any particular run-ins with Valkis. He just had a bad reputation and as being kind of a dick, and a lot of people just kind of assume I run with him because he's also a tiefling, but it's honestly kind of racist. We don't all hang out in a club. We don't have a secret handshake or anything like that.
Really? That's a shame. All my knight friends had secret handshakes.
If you did have
Wow.
a secret handshake, would you tell us?
Is this what you want us to
No.
think?
Just to make you jealous.
No, I wouldn't. But number two, Lucius, if you haven't figured this out by now, I'm kind of the opposite of a knight.
I would have never guessed.
Anyway, I'll see if he's amenable to a conversation. And I start looking around for a red tiefling that I recognize.
Okay.
And in my head, it also certainly doesn't help that my asshole father is also a red tiefling. And subconsciously, I 100% associate the two of them in my mind, even though that's probably not fair.
Yeah. Fair. It is also not hard to find in this crowd of pirates a crimson red tiefling with charcoal black horns with a captain's hat with 2 holes cut out for said horns in this crowd at all.
I approach him and say, Captain Velkis, I presume.
Well, he rolled a 3. You look familiar. I can't quite place it. Rogue water. Some time
Indeed,
ago.
I served with on Captain Tuto's crew for a time. The name's Dietrich, Dietrich Balthazar.
Pleasure.
Likewise.
Oh,
My you may have seen on your way in the damage to the docks in Koruri.
we came around the south side of the island, I did not, but I was most definitely informed of it.
I see.
Um,
Well, the short version of that story is a bunch of assholes decided to attack us and burn our ship. So we seem to, my compatriots and I seem to find ourselves stranded. And I was wondering, my good captain, if you wouldn't mind helping us out. Just simply, we'll certainly pay you, and if you wouldn't mind just dropping us off at your next port of call.
could use the extra crew. Seeing as more people are jumping ship these days, not literally, of course. But we are going back to Rogue Water, so that is fortuitous. I'm sure we have the space.
That would be excellent. What sort of payment would be appropriate? We've got 7 people and 4 very well-behaved, rather exotic pets.
Pets I don't mind. Honestly. Day and a half journey, I'll say 30 gold apiece and gets you on if you don't want to work.
But what if we don't mind working?
I'll have it.
$15 apiece is 105 for the 7 of us.
Yes, I believe so.
Sounds fair to me. And I'll count out and hand over 105 gold.
Okay. We'll take it and count it. And bite one of the coins. Just to make sure.
I did find some recently that disappeared after I touched them, but those are real ones.
Fascinating. You must tell me more later. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time.
Well, I'm sure we will. When did you expect to be weighing anchor? I know you just arrived. You must have business here.
Um, we'll probably actually leave this afternoon. There's not much for us to pick up, unfortunately, here.
Well,
More of a
quick
pit
trip.
stop from running the blockade.
Honestly, we've been on this island for maybe a week. I've lost track, and you're making the right move with a quick trip. I wouldn't recommend staying here any longer than you have to.
Yeah. I normally don't. Anyways,
All right, then.
We'll be back here
Yeah.
within. Looks at the crew and sees them loading and unloading stuff. 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yes. Because they need to
Terrific.
be doing it faster. They'll kind of look
We'll
at him
see
and
you then.
immediately start scurrying.
We'll see you then, and once again, we really appreciate you helping us out on such short notice.
Of course. Lucky I could fit you in.
And I take my leave and go back to the group and let them know they're going to Roguewater next, and we've got space for everyone on the ship, but we're gonna have to work for it. There will be we'll all have duties on board. No pleasure cruise.
Hoping to be able to read. I've never served on a ship before. I'd probably just get in the way.
Well, if you'd prefer not to serve, so it was 15 gold a person to work, but it's an extra 15 if you don't want to work.
Oh, then I'll pay the extra gold then.
What sort of
Should
work
it?
do they need for us to complete?
It's a ship, Lucius. I'm sure you can use your imagination.
There won't be any unusual cargo, right? Or, nothing too contraband, right?
Lucius, the first and most important thing I learned about being a pirate is that you don't fucking ask that question. Whatever they're hauling is almost certainly illegal. But then again, it's Roguewater. It may not be illegal there. And we don't have to see it. We just have to keep our heads down and do what we're told for a day and a half.
Oh yeah, the crew we brought with us who were sailing the Valkyrie, did they survive? Do we know what happened to them?
You have no idea what happened to the ship because it's definitely not sunk in the harbor. But you have no idea what happened to it.
Oh, the ship is gone.
Uh huh.
It didn't burn.
It's just gone.
Maybe our crew sailed it away when they saw what was about to happen to the harbor. Can't really blame them.
I hope they got away.
Well, I hope they returned it to Willie. That would
That's
save me.
why.
That would save me from earning a few more favors. But at any rate, this appears to be our only offer. It's either this ship or stay on the island for God knows how much longer.
Well then, let's get to it. Let's go. As long as they're not hauling slaves or something, I don't mind. That was what I usually mean by contraband.
They don't move that kind of shit in and out of Rogue Water. They have standards.
that-
They don't move that kind of shit out
Yeah,
of Rogue Water. They have standards.
Yeah, he doesn't know, but Lucius doesn't
No.
know
Oh,
that.
fair.
He's not a part of
Oh.
Rogue.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that's what you were referring to.
Yeah.
They're pirates, not slavers.
Okay. Good.
Illegal substances, absolutely, but
Oh yes, absolutely. I totally disagree with the current standards of illegal substance. Yeah.
No, good point.
Reefer Madness came out between when Lucius died and now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Lucius is the hippie generation.
And is now just like
Lucius is like Lucius is like a turn of the century like silent generation. Like you were fighting these fights over alcohol, and now all of a sudden you've time traveled, and people are talking about marijuana, and you're like, fucking A.
Marijuana? Who gives a shit about that?
yeah, I was gonna be like you grew up with cocaine in your Coca-Cola and now you're trying to keep it illegal.
Exactly. Keep it legal.
Keep it illegal.
Hey. Cocaine is all natural. Come on, guys.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite statistic. Did you know that Coca-Cola is the number one technically the number one purchaser of cocaine in the world?
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys got a couple hours if you guys want to do anything last minute?
What does Lucius do?
No, I'll go to the old forget what it's called, but ye old curiosity shop and browse a little bit.
You know what? I will too. I'm on the hunt for some armor, so might as well.
Lucius is reading a particularly inflaming passage about
Dapper Antiques.
Oh yeah, that place. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fair will sit wherever Lucius is reading and also read, but they'll be reading one of the books that we liberated from the temple. Cast comprehend languages. I got an hour to read.
Hovering right next to him, reading the same book.
Yeah, when you said sit next to him, I was like, oh, read over his shoulder.
No. Plot twist, it's the same book, just in Old Odoron language.
Oh my god.
I was just about to say that. Why'd you have to ruin the what book did you want to read?
Oh, that's right. Start working on the one that was on the pedestal with the light beam on it. I'll cast comprehend languages, so I have an hour of reading. I can cast that as a ritual, so I'll just do that. 10 minutes to comprehend, an hour to read.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm pulling it out. Okay, so you're pulling out the light beam book. Correct? Just double checking.
Yes.
Um, make a general intelligence check for me.
21.
Okay, easy enough. Easy enough for you to read and comprehend most of the book. As you flip through the first couple of pages, you realize that this is the actual workbook of Travarin. The one that he had in his room was either potentially a duplicate or fake.
Okay.
And a lot of it is theoretical magics and spells you have never heard of, if they even exist, to try to undo the magic of the runestones without needing to be in the presence of it.
Okay. About how long is the book, and about how far in can I make it in an hour?
I'll say to divide it up into chapters. There's probably about 10 chapters in it, and you can probably get through the first one, maybe one and a
Okay.
half. And the work is confusing because it is essentially the work diary of a madman.
Yeah.
Who was possessed, by the devil from the Bible, to use a TikTok audio. And so you are not quite sure if this was spells that could be cast to stop the banishment that happened from happening, or to do it now.
And that's the banishment of Odoron.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's some sort of large scale, like planar travel type magic.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, say that again. I just want to double check.
Large scale planar travel magic.
That is essentially what they did to Odoron. He doesn't really make mention of that yet. It is more just trying to counteract the runestones.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Of course. All right. For those of you who are at Dapper Antiques, when you're looking for anything in particular.
Some armor. Not made of just made of hide, studded leather, stuff like that. Not mail, unless it's mail not made from ore, which would be very tough to find.
Yeah, I'll look around at armor as well. I have no material requirements, not being a druid, but just see what they have there, see if there's anything that would be an upgrade over what I currently have. But
Okay.
Preferably under 65 platinum.
Yeah, he does have the stack of armor in the corner. Mm, make an Arcana or an Investigation check.
With the same.
Both of
so
us?
let me go ahead and roll it.
Arcana or Investigation.
both of us?
Yeah. Because you guys are
No.
both looking for it through the pile.
I'm doing
7.
investigation.
Okay.
I did Arcana, which is a 17.
I'm going to use a luck point on that. Okay, that's an 18. And that's 1 luck point for the day.
Okay. The only type of armor he has that seems magical, in nature, probably be within your budget. All seem to be plate. The ringmail and the other types of armor are good, but with those two rolls, they do not seem magical in nature to either of you guys.
I'm not interested in heavy armor.
Blinton's kind of sitting at his desk poring over some rocks that somebody might have brought in, or maybe he went out and got himself. It's unfortunate. It's mostly what I have there.
Mostly.
Well, mostly what people bring me is that type of stuff. They think it's a great idea on a ship. They get a little wet, they get a little sweaty, and they're like, I don't want heavy armor, and then they unload it on me, and then I can't sell it.
Can I actually take my staff of the adder out and hold it up for him and see if I might have a staff you're interested in, and talk to him about that?
That is a staff of the adder or a staff of the python, one of the two. I have a python staff in my inventory already.
It's an adder.
Kind of hard to move, unfortunately, like some of the larger armor items, as you see.
I'll whisper to Emrys, if you're looking to unload that staff, don't we know somebody who's looking for a nice magic staff?
Oh, I forget we do. Oh, it'd be a shame to have a buyer for this, though. I'll put it back in my bag. I know exactly who I'm giving it to.
And no, I'm just looking around, just browsing around for just like any kind of general use items that seem interesting. Nothing that would require an attunement slot, but just like I'll see what else is here. Yeah.
I'm also going to go look at shields then. Things like that. See if there's any magical ones there.
Make an investigation.
That is going to be a 19.
No. He has some shields he claims are magical. They don't appear to be magical. more specifically in terms of what you're looking for, Dietrich, anything like just like any type of general use item or a magical
Uh,
use item?
Yeah. Not just like magic items that don't require attunement that are just cool. I don't like I'm above game. I'm very happy with my weapon and my shield and my armor. And it's really just and I've got my ring of protection and my winged boots in my other attunement slots, and I'm happy with those two. And I'm just kind of like, oh, let's see what kind of stuff there is around that doesn't take an attunement slot. It's just like, I don't know. It's like a neat thing.
Okay. Was
Does
your
he have a pile of those coins of water breathing?
Yeah, like something like that.
make an investigation check?
12.
Okay. He has a lot of just knick-knacky stuff. Like little tiny like ivory or like jade frogs and things on a lot of these shells that he claims to be magical, but you don't really have magical properties and some stuff like that. Polished marble stone.
Is there anything interesting about the polished marble stone? Or is it just a polished marble stone that he claims is magical, but it's not?
Make an Arcana check with your -1 intelligence.
That's a total of 3 after I rolled a 4.
Yeah, even on a 3, you pick it up and you expect like something magical to have like some hum or something to it. Like there's something inside it makes it magic. You have no idea how it works, but it ain't there in this.
Maybe next time, and I'll put it back.
Oh, can I ask a quick question about the book
Yes.
that Farah is reading? They're gonna find like a shady place to read it anyway because Drow don't like the sunlight. But when they have the book in the sunlight, does the writing disappear again?
No.
Okay. So it was just that magical beam of light that erases it. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yes. Which, as you read it, you probably would. Let's see what your passive insight. With your passive insight, even at 13, would kind of realize, oh, that's so people would think it would know that it was his research book, like the real one. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm about done in the Dapper Antiques, Emrys, if you had more stuff you wanted to ask about.
No, I think I'm done. I didn't find anything worth buying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna head back to the group. Maybe get some lunch.
Are you all leaving?
Yeah, it appears that we've found a way off this rock. Thank you
Well,
for helping us out for the past week or so.
best of luck. I'll hopefully see you again, if not, hopefully not too soon. I know there's not a lot here.
Well, best of luck to you. You run a good shop.
Thank you. Much
Hopefully
appreciated.
hopefully the damage to the docks doesn't set your business back for too long.
We still have the South Docks, and God knows we have enough palm trees to replace everything that was burned.
All right. Well, take care, and I'll clip him a gold coin on our way out the door.
We'll catch it. Bite it. Put it on a shelf underneath.
One of these times, I want them to bite it, and it breaks in half because it's the chocolate coin, but then they have the tinfoil outside stuck in their teeth.
Oh, look, it's a good joke. Although the chocolate probably would have melted in the.
Yeah, right. When are you gonna
Indeed.
put Hanukkah? When are you gonna put Hanukkah guilt into your D&D campaigns?
Is this gonna be like the Nilf darts? Was it Nilf darts? What was it? Nif darts. It's Nif or nothing.
Oh no, no. It's every Hanukkah you have the
Oh, I know.
chocolate coins.
Dude, I loved those coins, man. I don't know what it was about them. I think we've had this conversation. I think we've had, yeah, they're chocolate. I think we've had this conversation before about them too.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe. Anyway.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can head down to the docks. The ship is almost unloading. They'll probably be taking up anchor probably about the next 10 minutes. If there's any last minute things you all want to do.
As I come back to the group, yeah, I guess do I see Fair reading through Trevarin's notebook?
Or through one of the books, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to them.
So when they're done, I'll just kind of sidle up next to them and ask, like, read any good books lately?
Well, I haven't made it too far in this one because the author narrative likes to wander a bit, but this one has been interesting. I think this is the one that I was looking for rather than the one that Trevarin was actually carrying.
Oh?
It seems his notes were the ones in here. So I suppose I'll move on to the one that he had in his lab next, just out of curiosity of what could be in that one. I don't know if it's a copy or a fake, but it seems like there's a lot in
Fascinating.
here. It's just very scattered, like he seemed to be.
Hmm. Well, riveting prose isn't everyone's strong suit.
Maybe ask Lucius about that one.
I'm not ready for that riveting.
I believe it's called screwing.
Oh, I'm
Riveting,
familiar.
is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Wrong hardware.
I cracked myself up.
You insert slot A into tab B. It's not that hard.
Oh my god.
Directions unclear, dick stuck in toaster. Anyway, I imagine you're all gathering up and heading onto the boat.
Yep.
All right.
Fair will look for Valkos as they're boarding.
He's not hard to find, overseeing everything that is about to take place. Mostly the sailing. Making sure everything's battened down correctly.
Hello, I'm to be one of your passengers, and I may have been volunteered for some work, but I would prefer some
Yes.
quiet time to myself during the journey. 15 extra gold, was it?
Yes, it was 30 gold if you didn't want to work.
And my friend has already paid the other half.
Yes.
All right. Fair, we'll
Also-
give him the other 15.
Also, we have a terminology in the pirate business. It's called being voluntold to do something. And I'll put it in a little coin purse.
Do I catch this?
The voluntold thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it. He's not being quiet.
I don't want to work. 50 more gold. Here you go.
Oh wait, we don't have to work if we pay. Yeah, you can have my money too.
All right.
Y'all a bunch of white bellies. I'll work.
See, that's what I like to hear.
I'm clearly not suited for sailing, and Fair just sort of gestures down at their flowing robes and like stiletto heel boots. I think I would be more harm than help, to be perfectly honest. So I'll just pay the extra and stay out from underfoot.
I'll be honest, they would be.
He
They
kind of
would be
looks down.
paying me to not help.
He kind of looks down at your shoes and kind of looks up at the dress. You should meet the Kraken if you're in Roguewater ever. Kind of shakes his head a little bit and goes back to.
As we head down to our quarters, I'll just whisper to Fair out the Kraken is another pirate captain and another tiefling. I swear we don't all hang out together.
Oh, good. I was going to ask if that was some sort of euphemism he was making at me.
No, like above game, a female, very vain, cares about how they look and how they dress. Pirate captain. Like 4-inch platform heels on deck kind of captain. Because they want to be taller.
Excellent.
Because they want to be taller than everybody kind of person.
Does she also have a fantastic hat?
Yes. I haven't designed it yet, but it's in my head. I haven't written it out, but it's in my head. Anyway, you all disembark. So who all's working on the ship? Right, as far as you have his hand up, I think he paid.
You paid.
I paid.
He did pay.
Sorry, I'm trying to plug something in.
Oh.
It's like, why do you have your hand
and-
up? You paid. So it's
And
Nymeria.
Lucius, and is Lucius working? And I don't know about Dunce either.
I just took,
Lucius is definitely working. Sorry. About that.
I took 15 gold out for Dunce. Alright. Let me get out Tribality's naval ships in combat. Thanks, DM's Guild. So none of you have water vehicle proficiency, and this is that. So now I have to do math, which is not my strong suit. By the way, I'll also say this is a pretty big ship. Like, I don't know if you guys know, like, like different ships, but this would be like a brigantine. So there's like two decks below water, two above. This thing is armed to the teeth with cannons. There are about 28 cannons on each side of this ship.
So this is what it looks like inside Destiny's Flame. I've seen this ship before, but
Yeah.
never had the opportunity to make it on board.
Yeah, so this has like 18-pounder cannons, and then also Dietrich, you would recognize some of them. Some of the smaller cannons that aren't the 18-pounders are designed to fire like canister shots. So like chain and ball or grape shot. All right, so let me get the DC for this ship because it is 8 plus the modifier, which is 13. All right. Cool. I hate that they make me do a ship DC. All right, as you guys are taking off, the first mate's going to start yelling instructions at you on which ropes to maneuver to get the sails in the right position to back out of harbor, which means I will say dealer's choice, acrobatics or athletics from Dietrich, Nymeria, and Lucius.
Acrobatics for me.
Acrobatics
14.
for me as well.
Okay.
That's gonna be an athletics
I'm gonna inspiration that.
22.
22.
I'll take the 12 over the natural 1.
Smart.
Yeah.
I had a 14. I don't know if you heard.
Okay. And I will say, what's your proficiency bonus now?
Yeah,
Dietrich.
we're all our proficiency bonuses are all +3.
Okay, you're not proficient with water vehicles, but you've been around them enough. Add half of it, rounded down, so add another 1, so it's 15.
And I'm gonna pick up that proficiency next level.
True. Hashtag story reasons. So it'd be a 15, correct?
With proficiency, it would be
Half proficiency.
half proficiency. It would be a 15.5.
Yeah, so 15.
So 15.
Yeah.
So just add 1 to all of mine.
Yeah, just
when
add
we're
1 to
doing this?
everything
Okay.
on the ship
Okay.
working.
Cool.
Having 2-year knowledge never worked on a ship. Lucian's pretty good at this. Tying down the right ropes and pulling off the different rods and moving them and turning the center rod, which is what, as soon as they realize how strong he is, they move him to. Nymeria, you get a little tripped up in the ropes, but nothing too bad. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. Especially on a ship this big. Dietrich, you've been here before. You're a little rusty. Not your best work. But
So
with the rest of the crew,
my best work costs extra, darling.
with the rest of the crew,
It's also usually in the bedroom.
God. But
I have a 10 and 19 if anyone ever needs them.
okay.
No, I think you need to decide that before we make the roll. So, like, I don't think we
No,
can
it's
just
after-
roll shitty and
it
be
is
like, "Oh, I'll use the
after-
19."
It's after you roll and before you tell me it's your final roll.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how.
So if you really choose,
Cool.
I'll let
No,
you guys
that's
know.
fine.
I have a
That's-
10 and a
that's good.
19.
Yeah, that's good to know.
I'd rather use them before we have another long rest.
And you all
Sure.
get,
Yeah.
you all catch the wind and slowly and steadily pick up speed. As you head off into the lightly rolling dusk that is now coming down.
Are the other crew members singing a sea shanty to keep the pace and the rhythm while they all try to like pull the ropes at the same time, which was the purpose of sea shanties?
So Valkis does not like sea shanties. He has a more like very traditional, like dating back to like the Greeks, like a drummer that drums for the beat, for the ropes and such.
Well, that's less fun.
It is less fun, but you know,
But I guess I don't want to ruffle too many feathers.
No.
While they're working, Farzu, would you like to help me with some of these books so I can start trying to learn the language that they're written in?
Oh, I would love to.
Okay. So how are you gonna do this?
Um, I guess I can ritual cast comprehend languages as many times as I need to.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I comprehend
I thought when we talked about it, one person was gonna comprehend languages,
Yeah.
one wasn't, and you guys were to translate, start creating a guide.
Yeah, pretty much. Or
Okay.
I have a pen that works everywhere. So if Farzi wants to cast, or we could take turns. We've got some time, right? So
Yeah, you guys do have some time.
trade off hours.
I don't have comprehend languages.
Oh, okay.
So Farzu's
Then-
translating.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have my Order of Scribes pen. I think Far's is like rather than a quill, it's like one of those glass calligraphy pens.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Like a swirl
Um,
of colored glass in the middle.
Both of you make a just general intelligence check.
Uh, 14.
Okay.
Intelligence. 22.
Okay. Yeah, how long are you guys gonna work on this today?
Does it look like they're going to keep sailing over the night?
Yes.
Okay.
But you guys will probably take a break for dinner.
I guess we'll work till supper. Sound good? How
Yeah.
long would that be?
Probably about 3 hours.
3 hours? Yeah, we'll take 3 hours then.
Okay.
And then we can decide if we want to pick up after dinner.
Okay.
Quick question before we start.
Yes.
In what language do you want this put into?
Do you speak
Common.
Undercommon? You speak Undercommon, right?
I do.
Let's use that.
Sounds good to me. I write in that a bit better than common anyways, so.
It's my first language. It comes a bit more naturally to me as well. So Fair has the blank book, and they'll keep notes in there. And also, they can write in the books they have with their quill and then just erase it at will. So
Okay. So you guys will get 3 hours down on terms of learning the language. So that's good. We'll take a break before you guys do dinner on the ship. How about that? See you guys back here in like 5 minutes.
Sorry if I seem out.
hello, and welcome back. I just want to say before we get started, Baseball Hall of Fame got really lucky that Aaron Judge's 61st home run went into a bullpen.
Yeah.
Because between that and Pujols, they were gonna be paying out money if a fan caught both of them. Although, the bullpen coach for the Blue Jays who caught it, his wife is a weather reporter, so she's in Florida right now, and she tweeted, "I may be battling a hurricane right now, but I'd also like to announce my retirement from broadcasting," when he caught the ball. I don't know if they're gonna sell it or not, but we'll see what happens.
Are balls that like expensive?
Yep.
Yeah, Mark McGuire's ball that broke Roger Maris's record sold for $3 million at auction. Fun fact, Todd McFarlane bought it. Yes, that Todd McFarlane.
It was funny. Allie went to the game tonight with a friend. I obviously didn't. I was here, and I did not hear her come in, and I wasn't looking at my phone because it's charging right behind me. So I heard a shout from downstairs, and I had no idea that anyone was home. Looked back and looked at my text, and I had a text from Allie saying like, "It's going to extras, but I'm gonna come home. I'm pretty tired."
Yeah.
And then I hear this shout, and I'm like, "Was that you? Is everything okay?" And because my feed up here, I had the game on mute, but it's several seconds behind like the live cable feed.
Yeah.
So like I am asking these questions, and then I see that the Nats walked off and was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that was you." Like losing your mind at the TV, and I had no idea you were here.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what happened during the break. All right, you guys are on the ship headed towards Roguewater.
I made veggie pasta during the break.
Yes.
Can I ask some profoundly nerdy questions about the Odoron language, or should I save them for later?
Go for it. If I don't know, we'll
what's-
talk about it later.
What sort of written language is it? Like, is it like a syllabary or an alphabet or ideograms or a combination?
Think of it as, this is actually a really, really good question. Think of it as like early Phoenician.
Okay, so like an alphabet.
Yeah.
And does it bear any like once we start translating it, does it bear any resemblance to, I guess, Common, Elvish, or Undercommon? I don't know what languages as far as he speaks. If we could trace any, like if any of the letters look similar, like how Phoenician has, you can trace the letters through Greek to Latin.
There are some common elements on some of the letters that go to Common, but they are few. If
Okay.
like Phoenician to like modern English alphabet.
Okay. So we don't really have a super good way of assigning phonetic values to these characters.
In terms of being able to speak it, probably not.
Okay, that's what I thought. Cool, thank you. I'm done.
Cool. No, great questions. And yeah, also all made up, but I figured that out in my head in 10 seconds, so it wasn't that bad. Yeah, you guys are on the ship headed towards Roguewater. 3 of you have decided to work, the rest of you paid, and all of you are invited for dinner this evening with the captain, since he is curious about what you were doing on Karuri.
Hmm.
No. Sit down at the table and listen to his questions, and
Now, you are not required to attend if anybody does not want to.
Fair will come along.
Okay.
I'll sit it far away. intrigued on how this ship works.
Pulleys and levers, man. Pulleys and levers.
Well,
Rope.
mentally,
Fair. Is anybody not going to attend?
Right.
Okay. You all sit down to dinner. It's unfortunately mostly things made with crab from Curry because it is the freshest food that they acquired and put on the ship. But ship's cook has spices and seasonings from all over, and it makes it taste unique and different than what you guys had on the island. So it's not too bad to eat it for like the third straight day.
Do you have any sued?
Why am I completely blanking on that?
I don't know why you're completely blanking on that, because do you spice?
I'm very confused.
Scanlan?
Oh, right. Oh my god. Sorry. I was not even thinking in like Critical Role. I was thinking Pirates of the Caribbean reference for some reason. And my mind just could not get back onto anything else. So anywho.
Fusaka.
So you guys get and a lovely wine from where you can't quite place it. But
Red or white?
red. But, you know, he is obstinate and has a aura about him, the bad-tempered nature that supposedly follows him. Stories of his bad temper follow him around. Might match it, but he also enjoys the finer things in life and can put it away for an evening, maybe, as you all sit down for dinner. I'll take a sip of wine. I'm curious mostly about how you ended up, or the purpose of a visit to Kurori. Not many people visit it voluntarily. It's more of a stop.
We were treasure hunting.
There are safer places to treasure hunt.
Indeed, but we had heard some rumors of things that might be there. Decided to check it out.
Interesting. Any of these rumors turn out to be true, they often are just that.
There's definitely something down there, but it was a bit more than we bargained for. And I gather, like, we barely escaped that place with our lives because the whole, like, cavern system started to collapse. So whatever's down there is, well, either we found it or whatever's still down there is gonna stay good and buried for quite a while, I would imagine.
Fascinating. And so, this is your crew then? Forming a new one in Roguewater, or?
Well, not a pirate crew, just a group of humble adventurers.
So, pirates without the name. In a manner of speaking.
Mm, less emphasis on taking wealth from people and more emphasis on trying to get people to pay us to do shit. It's like we're sort of like pirates, but we ask nicely.
We ask nicely sometimes, don't we?
Sometimes, sure.
Kind of like make one of those faces as he says it.
We sometimes will take things without asking as well.
That is
It's
certainly
not
true.
a it's not 100% one way or the other. The line gets blurred a little bit, but
That's well. Piracy is getting hotter and hotter these days. I'm sure you've heard of the blockade and
oh yeah, but
that nature.
I'm sure the blockade can't be making your lives easy.
No, I mean it's obviously good for business. People are paying pirates now to run through it, but it is dangerous.
Hmm.
Storm Maw, Storm Point making things just a little bit harder.
Has there been any word on when they're planning to lift it? Feels like
I'm
that blockade's been in place for quite a while. Has it not accomplished what they wanted it to accomplish, or do they think it'll be there indefinitely?
even though there are trade routes around places and through places like Calborn, I imagine they want to squeeze Trust and Boston as much as they can. Even the dwarves in Rhineport, they want to squeeze for coin or some other purpose. So it might be serving its purpose, but it hasn't accomplished it yet, from how we can tell. Plus, as long
Yeah,
as we're
that was
running
the
it successfully, it's not really much of a squeeze, is it?
that's the impression I got when we were in Rhineport. The whole city just kind of feels like it's being squeezed.
Yes.
Side note, it can also make it a pretty dangerous place to try to get out of if you piss off the dwarves.
Well, that's why you don't
Because
piss them off.
then where are you supposed to go?
North to the elves, I imagine. But no, it's dangerous, and we have crew jumping at every port now, going to
Oh,
the blockade. They think this is going to be the time that, one too many trips through the blockade, and this is going to be the time that Stormwall gets us or something. Superstitious lot.
well, superstitious is a kind word for it.
Certainly is. Where did you meet this adventuring party?
All over, really. I met these two in Roguewater, and the others just about as far away from Roguewater as you can get.
Fascinating. Fascinating, really.
It certainly has been an adventure.
Hmm.
And I'm sorry to say, it's been quite a bit more lucrative for me than serving on a pirate crew ever was. Things might have been different had I gotten my own ship someday, but
Piracy is only lucrative for upper management.
indeed, no unions in this business.
I mean, we do have rules.
Well,
Well,
more guidelines.
yes, more like guidelines. You are correct. That is true.
Sorry. Sorry, I had
That
to
is
drop
true.
that.
No, I was setting you up for it
I had to-
anyway.
all right. Thanks.
You
You
know, that is true.
you set them up, I'm knock them down.
That is true. That is certainly true. They are more like guidelines. Yes.
But all the same, there are things about it that I miss.
The sea. Freedom. What?
Well, serving on a crew, you don't have that much in the way of freedom either.
Hmm.
No, it's just the camaraderie of it, and everyone pulling their own weight and working on the ship together, and the weeks of nothing at all happening, and then all of a sudden you get a few hours of just insane action, and then you're back to like another week of hauling rope.
There's not
It
much
it was an
action out there anymore, unfortunately.
well, it was an interesting rhythm to get into. It was hard to get comfortable, which was probably the point, probably for the best.
I wish I had more people on my crew that cared about the camaraderie of it and not a quick dollar anymore. Not many pirates like that out there anymore, unfortunately.
Mhm. The way you make it sound from this blockade, we're a dying breed.
The last of something or other. I had a line for that. And it fell out of my brain.
I'll pour him another glass of wine and raise my glass for a toast and say, "Look, well, then here's to the last scalawags."
Indeed.
Above game, I'm trying to just butter him up and flatter him as much as possible while telling him as little information as possible.
Oh,
If that tactic wasn't clear.
oh, it was painful. It was painfully obvious. So, does anybody else want to tell me about themselves? Since he seems to be the only one that knows their way around a ship. I am legitimately curious.
Well, I'm something of a antiquarian. Grew up outside of Miramet, lived there above ground for a time. Decided to get a bit more hands-on in my searching for curious objects. So I came to Roguewater and found these kind folk.
Antiquarian. There's a word I've not heard in a long time. Also, Mirament is a lovely city, isn't it?
Oh, when were you last there?
Oh, God. 20 years ago now, maybe?
Ah, so it's been a while.
It has. The gateway is something else.
Truly. I miss it sometimes, but I think it'll be a while before I go home. It's turning out to be a bit more fun than I expected.
Good, beautiful city, but everything about it creeps me out. Once was enough.
Well, it is my home.
Yes. So just decided to up and leave one day and adventure out into a
Exactly.
wild world.
Exactly.
That's how I started piracy. Just one day decided to stow aboard a crew and ship and pretend to be part of the crew and just never looked back.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly. And if that's not what pirates do, I don't know what it is.
Well, I wish you great success and hope I find similar fortune as well in my adventures.
You don't get to be a captain of Roguewater without a great deal of luck. There's not many of us.
Well, may that luck continue for you for a very long time.
I appreciate it.
Dietrich will flourish a couple playing cards from his deck and just say, out of curiosity, Captain, how lucky do you feel?
I don't know what he's suggesting we play.
Um, two card stud was always my game of choice, but
You mean above game? You mean Texas Hold'em?
yeah,
Okay.
we can call it something else. But
Two card stud works.
Dorm Maw Hold'em, or
No, where did Dunn say Texas was on the map?
I'm not sure he did. He
did.
just said it exists.
He made a joke about it being in like the cold north or something at one point.
I never heard of this land text. I still remember that.
Texas. Oh, what's that Matt Berry line? You really are the most devious bastard this side of. Can't remember what it is. New York City.
New York City.
This is, of course, this is how all of us talk here in Tucson, Arizona.
Oh my god, the fantasy land of America.
Oh my gosh.
I love Matt Berry doing an American accent because it's so awful. Anyway,
I am an American.
not my game of choice, but I'll play it. How much are you willing to bet?
Well, we can start off with just a few gold.
At the side of the cards, Farzu's gonna kind of creep up so he can get a better look.
Okay. To the rules for what the dice rolls are. It's ace through 10, and then king and queen. All right, you got a deal? Dietrich?
Yeah, sorry, I'm finding the rules as well.
1 is clubs, 2 is diamonds, 3 is spades, and 4 is hearts. And then it's ace through 10, king and queen.
Yeah, yep, I found where I have it written down. Okay. All right. So are we? Yeah. All right. I'm rolling my cards.
Okay. Tell me when you got them.
All right, I've got them.
Cool. And it's 3 up first, right?
Sorry.
The flop is the first 3, right?
Well,
and then it's
first we bet.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that.
So he can have the first bet.
Isn't the flop the last card? Isn't it the river, the turn, then the
No.
flop?
The flop is the first 3, then the turn, then
And
the river.
Oh, I have it backwards in my head.
He'll pull out of his coin purse on the side. You guys threw the coins in for the passage earlier. He'll throw 3. He'll throw 3 gold down.
I'll call.
Okay. All right. 7 of hearts. Nine of diamonds. And a 3 of diamonds. And Valkus is betting first again, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll throw another 3 gold down.
I'll put in 6.
I should be writing how much gold he put down here.
I'm ready. I'm writing it down.
He will raise it to 10 from 6.
I'll call that.
Okay. Next card. A 10 of hearts. He'll put 5 gold in.
I'll call.
Okay.
Last card.
An 8 of hearts. And he'll put another 5 in.
I'll put 20 in.
So you're raising him 15?
Mm-hmm.
He will call. I'm pretty sure I know what you have based off that.
What does he have?
Interesting. And he'll flip over and he has a 3 and a 9 for 2 pairs.
You got it.
You're just gonna muck him?
Above game, I'll tell you what I had.
Oh, okay. I'm asking
But
in
no,
game.
that's poker etiquette. Like, you win.
No,
You don't.
only if you fall. Wait.
Yeah,
wait,
normally it's called
Oh,
mucking,
that's-
and it's not. It's not.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I had an ace of diamonds and a 4 of hearts.
Oh man, you thought. Oh, never mind.
I
thought it
was-
the same suit. All right.
Yeah, I was. If I had caught an ace, or if I had gotten the straight
We'll take the
draw,
gold.
or if either of the flushes had hit, but alas.
He'll
Last for Yorick.
he'll put the gold in his pouch.
So I'm down 38.
You want to win your money? Do you want to try and win your money back, or was one hand enough?
Oh, I always want to try to win my money back.
Deal them out then.
All right, I've got my hand.
I do as well. Your bet.
I'll check.
And he will as well. Two of hearts. 5 of diamonds. And a 3 of diamonds.
With gold.
Do you look at your cards before you make the bet?
I know what I have.
Okay.
Why?
Asking. 5 gold. He'll call. Interesting. Let us continue. 7 of diamonds.
I'll check.
And he will as well. Last card.
Mm-hmm.
8 of clubs.
$10 gold.
He'll slide his 2 cards into the bottom of the deck. You win.
Well, I won't take up any more of my friend's time. Let's just rain check for me winning back the rest of my money.
Of course.
I made 5. And above game, I had an 8 and a 2. So
He had a 6 and a 2, so he went in on the 2 as well.
I just had a shit pair, and we were both just checking. So
Mhm.
it's like, all right, let's get out of the hand if I have a reason to, but if I don't, then and then I hit the high pair on the river. Like, oh, okay. Don't think he has anything either.
Yeah, he doesn't either. One second. All right. I do actually have one more question for you all.
Uh, I just say shoot, and at the moment I say shoot, I minor illusion a small pistol in my hand, and then it goes away a second later.
Very funny. There's some disturbing reports from other ships. I'm lucky enough to have not run across them myself. But Stormmaw has built a arsenal of new ships.
Well, we're oddly familiar.
Good, I was hoping that would be the case. I saw the metal debris floating around the fucking harbor.
You're welcome.
What the hell are they?
They're like it's hard to kind of describe. It's sort of like a furnace that floats somehow. And it's all like there are no sails. It's all just powered by this giant furnace on the ship. And it propels forward that way, and it's all clad in metal from stem to stern. Just it's like an armored it's like if you gave a ship plate mail, but it still floated somehow.
No, that's not good, is it?
No, I can't recommend it. It was fun as hell to blow it up, but I can't recommend it.
Did it, in your professional opinion, did it
I am a
look
professional.
like it could be, and I don't know how else to phrase it, the armor penetrated from the outside? Or are these things
In my
fucking unsinkable?
professional opinion, what do I think? Like I saw the cannons they have on this ship. Am I gonna like? Do I think like, oh, those won't make a dent? Or do I think like maybe if you fired every single one of them at the exact same time at the same spot, you could punch through? Or like what is my professional opinion here?
Make a wisdom check and add your +1 from half proficiency.
Yep, that was a D12. So that's a total of 12.
Okay. You would have to get lucky, even with 18 pounders, to sink that ship. Like, it's
I tell
doable,
him,
but it's hard.
yeah, I tell him as much. Like it's not impossible, but you'd have to get really lucky and hit the exact right spot. And you'd probably have to do it a lot. I preferred a more subtle way of dispatching it.
So you said it was powered by an engine, though.
Yeah, some kind of furnace of some sort. It wasn't really
So it runs on
anything I'd ever seen at sea
coal?
before.
So it runs on coal, like a blacksmith's furnace?
That's what it smelled like.
Interesting.
But no, it wasn't any. I hadn't seen any contraptions like that outside of a blacksmith shop before, and certainly not that big.
Well, I'm sure everybody in Rogue Water will be very excited to hear about this.
Did you say the rumors were that they have many of these? So at least more than one.
I'm not going to name names of any of the captains here, but at least one reported to the rest of the fleet that he saw at least 12 in formation.
Wow.
An army of
Oh.
ships emitting black smoke on the horizon. Luckily, because they seem to be running on coal or something of the nature there. If we have the wind, they can't catch up.
And they're easy to see coming.
Yes.
What with the coal
Yes.
and smoke.
Did they say where they saw them?
They were running actually out of the blockade, heading back this direction.
And how long ago?
We touched base and rearmored and resupplied in Iron Tide. That's where I caught the captain, and he relayed this information to me.
How long ago was that?
God, I don't know how many days it took us to get to Kurori.
You went straight from there to Kurori?
Yes, I decided not to risk it with those ships about. Taking the coast road and went across the open sea since they have to restock, I would imagine, fairly consistently.
I think it's pretty likely that one of those ships went straight from there to us.
Well, thank you for the information.
1 down, 11 to go, I guess.
Yeah, Stormmaw isn't going to be too happy with me, I imagine.
If they were entirely fucking plated in metal, I imagine not.
The thing about that is on the inside of those ships, it's pretty much nothing but black powder. If you sneak on there with a match, easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
I mean, you might die in the explosion, but that's the weak spot. Just sneak on. Kaboom.
So you're telling me that it's not made of metal, it's metal over wood. It's literally plated.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's how the Ironsides were built, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Alright. What if we
It's
were to use
armored. it's not an entirely metal ship. It's a wooden ship plated in this metal casing.
I wonder if it's possible to fire old school oil incendiaries, get between the plate and set the wood on fire. You've given me a lot to think about.
Yeah, I'm certain we could come up with some strategies.
Okay.
Having infiltrated one firsthand, and it's only thanks to Fair here that I'm alive to talk about it.
Must have been quite an explosion.
Well, that part I don't really remember. Black.
Nymeria is noticeably shifting in her seat with this part of the conversation.
It was a pretty magnificent explosion.
Do I clock Nymeria's discomfort?
I mean, I would think it'd be pretty obvious based off her description.
Okay.
If you all think of anything else, be much appreciative.
Oh, we certainly will. Thank you so much for the meal and your hospitality. You're too kind.
Of course.
If I remember anything about working on a ship like this, it's a pretty early morning.
It
Yes?
is. Also, I do have an absolute favor to ask of you if you all wanted to be dears for me.
Name it.
I'm extremely bad-tempered, obstinate, and I'm never nice to anyone if anybody asks.
Oh, if anybody asks, you were an absolute dick.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Understood.
You know, some of us
But,
have reputations to uphold.
of course, of course.
All right.
Um, but no, for tonight, I think we'll take our leave and hit the sack.
Of course. All right. All right. See anybody else
And,
want to do anything with their evening?
well, when we get back to our rooms, I would like to try to get a moment with Nymeria if I can.
Okay.
You all right? You seemed uneasy when we started talking about the ironclad.
It wasn't the ship so much that bothers me. It's oh, your situation.
Well, what about my situation?
I usually consider myself to be pretty capable, even in the fighting pit without my arrows. You know, I still sometimes manage to do some damage and win and things, but
Oh, yeah, you're quite capable.
there was nothing I could do to help you. I couldn't fly out to find you. I couldn't bring you back. There was nothing, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Nymeria, you can do many things that none of the rest of us can do. You're better with a bow than anyone I've ever seen. And I mean, I've seen Rook. That's a compliment.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I guess I'm just used to being able to do something, and that
Well,
just
no, I'm the same way. I've always been able to weasel my way in and out of situations however I please, but things over the last few months have just gotten a lot more complicated. But I don't think it's super important for all of us to be able to do everything. As long as all of us can do something, and as long as the thing we need in any particular situation is something that at least one of us can provide, that's what makes us a team.
I suppose you're right. I'm not still getting used to this whole, like being with other people thing. I've been on my own, I was on my own back home, just me and Albert, and then when I was kidnapped, I dispatched of those motherfuckers on my own and just made it back to Roguewater trying to get back home. So being with other people is, it was just, I guess it's just the first time that like I absolutely couldn't do anything, and I'd never had that feeling before.
Well, it was my first time dying. Well, there have been a lot of firsts these last couple weeks.
I suppose that's fair. I mean, fair's
No,
over there, but I
no,
suppose
that's fair. Who kidnapped you, if you don't mind me asking?
so. You made the joke earlier about exotic pets, right?
Yes.
I was kidnapped because the dumbasses who kidnapped me thought that I was a white dire wolf, not, you know.
Oh, they
I was
they
asleep out in
they
the
thought you were
woods.
they thought you were a beast?
Yeah. And, the white fur is considered exotic or whatever since it's only from the north. So I was scooped up in the middle of the night. They tranquilized me. They pissed me off. Um, it was like some bounty hunters. I don't know, people who normally go hunt exotic animals, and then they would been enlisted by the shop owner. So then I got trafficked all the way down south to this guy's shop, and boy was he in for a surprise when he opened that crate. Let me tell you,
I can imagine.
he's dead. If you wondered,
Yeah.
but
How about the bounty hunters?
I still don't exactly like there's pieces parts, but I don't exactly know who they were. Just that they were contracted because they dropped me off and whatever. But a lot of it was really hazy because, like I said, they drugged me because they didn't want to deal with me, and I'm sure they really didn't want to deal with me once they would have figured out that I wasn't what they thought I was.
And you said you're trying to get back home?
Yeah, at some point, that's why I was in Roguewater doing the fighting pit. I was trying to earn the funds to get all the way back up north, but especially with the blockade and shit, that's been difficult.
What's waiting for you back up north? I thought you said you were on your own up there.
I mean, I am, but it's just, that's where I'm from. That's what I know. All these different places are not all great, let's be fair. Let's see where we just left and things. Like, seeing the world is okay, but I liked my forest back home.
Well, that's the first thing you've said that I can't really relate to. But it must be nice actually liking where you're from. But anyway, yeah. try not to beat yourself up too much. I mean, I literally died.
But you also blew up a fucking metal ship, man.
I know it was awesome, but I also died.
You did. And I don't advise doing that again.
No, I hope not to do that again. It was a very weird experience. But up there, to the outside world, if I'm asked to tell the story, I'm gonna make it sound like the coolest shit of all time. Because that's what I do.
That is indeed what you do.
But I just before we head to bed, I want you to know that I think we all admire what you do too. It won't be the right tool for every situation, but it's the right tool for a lot of situations, and it's not a tool that the rest of us have.
Thank you, Dietrich. I feel better. I wasn't. Honestly, when I went to get my arrows this morning, I went down to the docks because I was told there was a temple there. There was not a temple there. There was an altar there and nobody there to talk to. So I guess this is as close to that conversation as I'm going to get.
You thought a god would help you solve your problems?
I thought that a person of the cloth could help me figure out, because obviously, again, like I can heal people to an extent, but no amount of healing was going to help you. So I didn't know if that's something that maybe I needed to try to tap into. But now, you're telling me, and it's making sense that that's not where I need to go. That's not. That's maybe not exactly the same place it comes from, but that is Fair's gift or job or whatever. That is not. And I think Emrys can do that too with some nature shit. But no, with this conversation, and it's essentially what I was hoping to glean from somebody of that nature, is that is not my job and what I need to do. I think if I just keep working, on the ranger, being the bow and stuff, and with Albert's gonna grow, and pretty soon I will be able to fly on him if I just keep, working at it and stuff. He gets big enough, and then I would have been able to help you in that situation because I would have been
Yeah,
able to help find you.
that sounds badass. I look forward to it.
Yeah,
And
it's just.
I'm not trying to tell you to go one direction or another. I think go wherever you feel is right for you.
I mean, technically, I've already gone two different directions because I do some of the fighting up close with the claws and stuff, and some of those kind of different techniques that I guess normal rangers don't usually use. So I've already gone in two different directions technically, and I feel like going the way of the religious might be just spreading myself a little too much.
I don't know about spreading yourself too much. I've gone in a few different directions, and I still feel like I'm missing something sometimes.
I guess that's. I'm not gonna say fair again. That's understandable.
Best
No,
shortening of a name ever.
it's something about just that experience of dying and coming back really just freaked me out. I don't understand death as much as I'd like to, but that's a problem for me in my own head. But
I don't know much about death, and frankly, I don't want to know much about death. But the fact that clearly it's not necessarily permanent, in this case, I'm okay with that.
oh, I am too. I'm happy to still be here. Don't get me wrong, but I just wish there was someone who could tell me what comes next.
You mean like after death if you didn't come back?
Is Lucius
Well-
in the room? Because he's about to say something.
It. I died. I experienced nothing. Was led to believe from some explanations I got after the fact that was because our friend of ours had purposefully locked me out of the nine hells. That supposedly, had he not intervened, that's what would have happened to me. But I understand that I gather that it's different for everyone. Some
Well,
people believe something else.
I suppose it would be different for you and I, because I'm not a tiefling, and there's not that whole devil demon situation. But I would assume you didn't experience anything because you came back. Again, I don't know nothing about nothing really, but I would think that you wouldn't experience anything else until you didn't come back.
Well, I was dead for almost they tell me it was about a minute, but it felt like a lot longer.
I know
I don't know.
I've heard of people who've been dead about the same time as you, and they come back and they said that it was like a second. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's kind of what's
I kind of
bothering
feel
me.
like
It
maybe
just
that's something we just don't need to know. If you spend your whole life worrying about after death, then are you really living your life?
well, a lot of my life revolves around sending other people to their afterlife. I'd kind of like to have a better understanding of what I'm sentencing them to.
I suppose that's fair. I'd like to, and I did it again. I'd like to
Suppose that's fair.
assume that people, if they're good people and they do good things, that they go to a good place, or they get reincarnated as a better. I don't know. There's so many different theories, but I
I
would
was
like.
interested. I was interested in your theory that you mentioned before that because I'm a tiefling, I have a certain afterlife, and somebody else might have a different one. Do you really think there are many different possible afterlives that are all organized by race? That seems
I
that
don't
seems
know.
very interesting.
I don't know if they're necessarily organized by race, or if they're even. I don't even know if there is an afterlife. But they talk about the nine hells and and your people's lineage, and he said that he supposedly stopped you from being in hell, right? So which is weird, because to me hell is where the bad people go, but at the same time, and I know you say you've done some things, but I wouldn't automatically think that you're a bad person. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nymeria, don't get me wrong. I like you. You're a valued member of the team. But don't presume to know whether I'm a good person. To tell you the truth, I'm kind of the scum of the earth. And
I mean,
with that I'm off my back is turned and I'm off to bed.
all right, well then she'll just look at Albert and go, well, depending on who you ask, we're the monster for tearing up that pet guy, but we were kidnapped, so depends on who you ask.
So Well, that conversation's going on. What are the rest of you doing with your evenings?
I'm just shining Nibble's horn, making it nice and shiny.
Rubbing it good.
I was
Mhm.
watching an Actually yesterday, and the creature they had to draw was the Amerge, and I was like, I know exactly what this is. A couple episodes before that, it was the.
Is that why you asked?
No, I asked because my friend has a cat, Nibbler, and it reminded me of Nibbles, so I wanted to tell her the whole story because she also plays D&D of the different forms that he has taken.
Got it.
I
Cool.
was thinking of Nibbles when Farah was telling me about her squirrel story today. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I saw a squirrel that got hit by a car, and I was like, oh, save Nibbles.
Yeah, you get the hashtag save Nibbles.
Hashtag save Nibbles.
So does anybody have anything they want to do with their evening besides polishing horns, apparently, which is what the kids are calling it these days?
Fair will sort of try and find a spot on deck that's out of the way and just sort of look out at the ocean and the sky and get some fresh air.
Okay. Easy enough to
No,
do with the night crew working, which is about half the crew they have on deck during day.
Dietrich will just lay in bed contemplating death.
Because I'm so fucking emo.
He's trying to do it in a metal way, not in an emo way, but it's extremely emo.
It's extremely emo. Okay, cool. All right. If anybody needs to hit their long rest buttons for any reason, you can go ahead and do so now.
I get a luck point back.
Cool. And we're going to take another short break. We'll be back in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, she
Your
does it
cat.
daily.
Unmute my channel on OBS. But we're back. Hi. I need somebody to roll for weather.
Want me to roll a d60?
No, because I don't have a D60 table for it.
Damn.
What do you want me to roll?
Now that he knows you have a D60, he might have that table next time.
I do actually, from one of my books, have a couple D60 tables, so I might actually look at them and pull them out now.
Lucius asked, "Do you want a D20 or a D100?"
D20, please.
All right. Let's go with 15.
Alrighty. Odds or evens?
Well, I'm an odd person, so obviously odd.
Okay, it rolls a 2, so it is even. Roll another D20 for me, please.
Well, fuck. Let's see. 15 again.
Okay.
Huh.
As you all get up fairly early in the morning, as the crew starts their calls to sail, the good wind remains. However, in the early morning, you all have sailed into a rainstorm.
Oh.
As it's being close to fall, it is a cold rain that makes being on deck fairly miserable today.
I'm gonna dance in the rain.
You want to dance with somebody?
Dance with Nibbles in the rain.
Or dancing with
I wanna
yourself.
Dance with somebody.
We'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain.
Rain. I'm singing in the rain, just sing under my umbrella. Anyway,
Lucius is going to enjoy the rain.
helmet on,
With
helmet
clothes-
off.
With clothes
Obviously,
on, clothes
helmet
off.
on.
Helmet on.
Obviously, helmet on. That's his face you're talking about. He can't take off his head.
Not fair. Very fair. Okay.
What?
What are you doing today?
I guess can Fair catch Dietrich before he goes up on deck?
Yeah.
And just they hand him one of the cards from their spell deck and say that thing you asked me about before, perhaps we can discuss it later after your duties today.
Above game. What are you referring to?
When Dietrich was asking them about death,
Oh, okay.
that's
Sorry,
the
it
card
was
that they
just
had. Oh, sorry.
yeah. Sorry, it was just 3 weeks ago. I was like,
Yeah.
oh right, that, yeah.
Yeah, they handed him the death card.
Yeah, absolutely.
Enjoy the weather.
I've seen worse.
I guess if Farsi wants to help keep translating, Fair will do that. Otherwise, if Farsi wants to dance, then Fair will keep reading the book on their own.
My death card is Hades.
Cool.
Knowledge.
Also, if you want to help, you don't have to help if you don't want to, but
Farsi likes knowledge.
okay.
Knowledge is
Power.
power. Knowledge is power.
So I guess yeah, we'll work on that again today.
Okay. How long do you guys want to spend on it?
I guess get started and go till lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You guys took Bob with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bob's is going to be out hanging in the rain.
Kind of waiting for the captain to ask about him at dinner.
I was a little concerned the captain didn't ask about our flying alligator.
Dude, pirates see some weird shit, man.
Yeah, as long as this particular captain didn't have like or as long as there wasn't a ticking clock inside the alligator,
Yeah.
I'm guessing the pirate captain wouldn't care too much.
No.
I don't get it.
Peter
What- why-
Pan?
Peter Pan, Captain Hook.
I'm Asian. I don't know what. How Peter Pan has a crocodile with an owl?
That sounds like an excuse.
The crocodile with the clock is the one that bit Captain Hook's hand off, and why he has a hook now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to think of like comparative literature. Alligator with clock is to Peter Pan, or Captain Hook as white whale is to Ahab for Moby Dick.
Assigned harpooner at birth.
Yes.
All harpooners are bastards.
All right, so the three people that are going to work are working on the crew. I'm gonna need your guys' acrobatics or athletics checks as you guys move the ropes and the sails and navigate in the rain, which means Lucius and Nymeria are rolling at disadvantage. And Dietrich gets his +1.
You said acrobatics or athletics again?
Correct.
So
14.
yeah, 14 for me.
Okay.
Is that with your +1?
Yes. That's
Okay.
13 and then +1.
Just didn't want you to forget.
Appreciate it. But I remembered this one time.
You remembered? Okay.
Member berries?
Pepperidge Farms, remember?
Remember that?
Member berries?
Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Member berries? Alrighty.
Remember Chewbacca?
Okay.
Oh shit! I realized I was muted. 17.
Excellent.
Man, I was saying man all this time, and I didn't even realize I was
Sorry.
muted. God damn it! She.
I will say you guys do a lot better on morning 2 versus day 1. Yeah. Nothing too difficult. Most of the hard stuff in terms of sailing is done on port. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. At about we'll say you guys get another 4 hours in towards actually getting a language proficiency. And actually, if you guys are going to continue doing it, I will say 5 total so far until what's about to happen happens. Just after lunch, which is like a light, easy snack. kind of thing because, it's a ship. People got to keep moving around. Dietrich, you hear a whistle that is familiar to you coming from one of the 2 crow's nests on the ship, which normally signals incoming.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look up and see what's incoming.
everybody on the deck can make a perception check.
Disadvantage
Passive
'cause it's
20.
still raining.
It is still raining, but I will say that even with that,
Nice.
if you roll high enough, you can still see it. So everybody on the deck can roll.
21.
Okay. What was yours,
Uh,
Dietrich?
I rolled below my passive, so
Okay.
it's just 20.
Cool.
I rolled a 6.
Okay. Emrys, are you on deck or no?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
All right. I figured you didn't want to be down with the bookworms.
No. Me and my wolf are hanging out up on the deck. That is going to be a 24.
Dietrich, Nymeria, and Emrys, as well as the captain, Valkis. He points to the horizon, and you all can see it too. Probably about 5 nautical miles straight out, you just see, almost on a collision course with you, a plume of black smoke in the air.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm just gonna give a taste of this for you guys for next week.
Dun dun dun.
Oh. Big map.
And in case you guys go broadside.
Hell yeah.
So that'll be next week. We'll wrap up a little bit early tonight.
Oh my.
Oh, so Dietrich, can you do that same trick again?
Preferably without the
Um,
dying part.
But his
Yeah,
name is
agreed.
literally Die Trick. So
Yeah,
I
somebody.
know, right?
I mean, somebody cast Death Ward on me before I go, and yeah.
Yeah, you'll
do
do it
we
again.
have 4th level spells yet?
No. But
If you
yeah.
if you were a full caster, not multi-class, then theoretically.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, but I think all of us are multi-classed, aren't we?
Well, I have 4th level spells. I just don't have that one.
Yeah.
And I don't cast spells.
Yeah. Anywho, we'll see you guys next week to deal with this. And we'll see you guys back on the channel Monday for another episode of Story 7. Till then, guys, peace out.